Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's wonderful to have you here again at Confident Beauty, where every style tells a story. In our last episode, we explored China, where hair reflected harmony, discipline, and quiet wisdom. Today, our journey takes us to a country where beauty has long been shaped by structure, practicality, and intellectual restraint. Welcome to Germany. German beauty has never been about decoration for its own sake. It is rooted in function, order, and a deep respect for authenticity. For women over 50, hairstyles have consistently reflected clarity, maturity, and self-possession rather than trend-driven excess. Join us as we explore 100 years of German hairstyles for women over 50, shaped by realism, resilience, and timeless discipline. In the early decades of the 20th century, German women over 50 typically wore hairstyles that emphasized discipline, order, and modesty. Long hair was common, but it was rarely worn loose. Instead, it was parted cleanly, usually at the center, and pulled tightly back into low buns or smooth chignons positioned close to the head. These styles reflected deeply rooted cultural values that associated neatness with moral integrity and self-control. Hair was brushed thoroughly and styled with precision, creating a firm silhouette that stayed intact throughout the day. Decorative elements were minimal or absent, as excess ornamentation was seen as unnecessary. For mature women, these controlled hairstyles symbolized authority within the household and respectability within society. The emphasis was not on softness or romance, but on reliability and structure. German hair aesthetics at this time aligned closely with a worldview that valued discipline, rationality, and clear boundaries between public presentation and private life. As the 1930s and 1940s unfolded, German women over 50 largely maintained traditional hair structures, but with subtle adaptations for practicality. Buns became slightly lower and more compact, while some women adopted simpler pinned styles that required less daily effort. Hairlines remained clean and tightly groomed, and the overall look stayed restrained. Unlike more expressive styles seen elsewhere, German mature hairstyles continued to prioritize stability and uniformity. Even when hair length shortened slightly, the cuts remained conservative, often blunt and close to the head. For women over 50, hair in this period conveyed seriousness and responsibility. The controlled appearance reinforced social expectations of composure and endurance. Softness was secondary to order, and hairstyles were chosen to reflect steadiness rather than individuality. This era reinforced the German association between external appearance and internal discipline. By the 1950s and 1960s, German hairstyles for women over 50 began to incorporate modest softness while preserving structure. Shorter cuts became more accepted, especially practical bobs and cropped styles that framed the face neatly. Hair was often styled with light volume at the crown, but the overall shape remained compact and controlled. These styles aligned with a growing emphasis on efficiency and clarity. Many women chose cuts that could be maintained with minimal styling time, reflecting a preference for function over flourish. The hair appeared groomed, polished, and intentional, without dramatic curls or exaggerated shapes. For mature women, these styles conveyed competence and quiet confidence. The German aesthetic during this period balanced modernity with restraint, allowing change without abandoning foundational values of order and precision. The 1970s introduced greater flexibility in German hairstyles, but changes were absorbed carefully rather than radically. Women over 50 began wearing medium-length hair more frequently, often styled straight or with very subtle waves. Layers were minimal, and haircuts focused on maintaining a clean outline. Natural texture was accepted but rarely emphasized. Hair was worn in a way that felt sensible and understated. This period reflected a gradual relaxation of rigid formality, yet the German preference for clarity remained dominant. For mature women, hairstyles softened facial features while preserving a composed appearance. The 1970s marked a quiet shift toward personal comfort, but always within a framework of control and moderation. During the 1980s and 1990s, international trends introduced volume and layering, but German women over 50 adapted these elements with caution. While some volume appeared at the crown and through layered cuts, hairstyles remained balanced and functional. Short and medium-length styles dominated, offering ease of care and a professional appearance. Haircuts were often tailored to suit individual face shapes, reflecting a growing interest in personalized refinement rather than trend imitation. Styling products were used sparingly, with an emphasis on natural movement and durability. For mature women, this era supported a confident, capable image that aligned with professional and social roles. The German approach demonstrated how trends could be integrated without sacrificing cultural identity. In the early 21st century, German women over 50 increasingly embraced clean, modern haircuts that emphasized proportion and simplicity. Sharp bobs, layered crops, and shoulder-length styles became popular for their versatility and ease. Hair was often worn straight or with gentle movement, reflecting a minimalist aesthetic. Color choices remained natural, favoring understated tones over dramatic contrast. For mature women, these styles communicated clarity and self-assurance. Hair was no longer a symbol of conformity, but of personal coherence. The focus shifted toward authenticity and practicality, with hairstyles chosen to support daily life rather than impress externally. Today, German women over 50 are at the forefront of embracing natural aging with confidence. Gray hair is increasingly worn openly, often paired with precise, modern cuts that emphasize structure and balance. Short crops, clean bobs, and sleek medium-length styles dominate, highlighting facial features without excess styling. Texture is subtle, and hair health is prioritized over trend. This modern era reflects a philosophical shift towards self-acceptance and intellectual beauty. German hairstyles today embody restraint, clarity, and authenticity, proving that elegance does not require decoration, only intention. A century of German hairstyles reveals a story of discipline, realism, and evolving self-confidence. For women over 50, beauty has always been defined by structure, clarity, and inner strength rather than external display. Next week, our journey continues to a land where tradition, craftsmanship, and understated elegance shape timeless style. Join us as we explore 100 years of hair in Switzerland. We'll see you then.